1580 103.3 WPKY and Coffee Talk with Tess and Ty at 8:07. And hey, it's not going to be a bad afternoon, but it's a little foggy this morning, right?
A little bit of fog, but maybe a few showers this morning, clearing out, partly sunny and pretty pleasant. I mean, it's kind of sticky out there, but hopefully a little rain might take it away.
Sorry, honey. He says that it's too sticky, too muggy, too foggy.
You're trying to get out of the yard work. I understand that.
You said, you know. I've got witnesses. I can get out of it.
Let's get with the matter at hand. I'm so excited about this. We have for our visit this morning, Farmers Bank and Trust. We have President CEO Jeff McDaniel. We also have Director of Marketing Tiffany Massey, and one of the Farmers Bank ambassadors, and that is going to be Kendall Prowell. Good morning to each and all.
Morning, Ty.
Glad to have you all here, and I know Farmers Bank is very excited. I know we're very excited here to help you all talk about and market and about the Ambassadors Program. This is an exciting program for the Farmers Bank and our local schools. So, Tiffany, tell us about what the Ambassadors Program is and how it works.
Well, we've been really planning for a long time over this ambassador program. I've got a committee at the bank that has been going over weekly different ideas and things that we want to accomplish throughout the year for our ambassadors. We went about this in a way where we have gotten recommendations. We wanted leaders. You know, at Farmers Bank, we're really interested in being a big part of this community, and it's obvious that we want our ambassadors to do the same. So we have 10 ambassadors, and we're really excited about them. They're awesome. Kendall Prowell, Morgan McDaniels, Adarius Riley, Sid Nichols, Tony Lee, Reagan McAllister, Chasey Phelps, Noah Helfenstein, Aubrey Hall, and Ben Holt. This group is awesome. It was a lot of fun, our first meeting that we had, just talking to these kids, talking about what time they wake up in the morning, you know, because it's a little bit different than me, and just learning about them. It's really interesting. We have different things planned throughout the year that we're going to do. Next week, we're going to do a Discover Yourself session. What we've done is, I don't know if anybody knows anything about the DISC personality assessment, but we have all of our employees take that assessment, and I was thinking about, you know, as a high schooler, as a senior or a junior, what I would really want to learn about myself to help me prepare for my future. And one of those things is learning about my personality. That way, you know, whenever I started college, I went undeclared. I didn't know what I wanted to be, you know, but if I would have known a little bit more about my personality, I think I would have been better prepared to maybe choose a career that aligned well with that. And so, I want these kids to learn about their personalities, see how they're all different. I told Jeff, my goodness, these 10, if I could have picked a different set of 10 students from the high school that had different personalities, those are exactly who I would have picked. They're all different. It's amazing. And I want them to learn how their differences make greatness, you know, and that, you know, in a place of employment, everybody has to have different personalities in order for your place of employment to be great as well. So it's going to be really fun. I've got County Attorney Roy Massey coming in, and and I want
twisted his arm.
I twisted his arm, got him in, and he's going to go over some safe social media practices. So I think that as students, it's very important to realize that what they do on social media could have an impact on their future. And I think that it's going to be nice for them to learn a little bit about that and just be mindful going into the school year on, you know, on being safe with those.
I'll tell you, I think, in my opinion, is so important, and I don't think a lot of kids understand that, you know, and even with mine, I've preached it so much at home that I know they're really tired of hearing it at this point. I've got one in college that's the same way, you know, and fortunately my other kids, I think I've only got a couple of them that are like, oh, you just worry all the time. But they don't think about the fact that this could really I mean, that could affect their employment opportunities later on.
Absolutely.
When, if I can look up anybody's Facebook or anything like that, so can your future employer. And if you're signing out and you're saying, you know what, I want to be a lawyer and I want to be a wonderful lawyer, and then you've got a lot of things on your social media that maybe shouldn't be there, and even if it was a couple of years ago, and you were a lot younger, well, I'm sorry, but it's there and you can't get rid of it.
Right. Exactly.
Kendall, have they taken the personality test as of yet?
They have. They have not received the results.
Not received the results. So. Kendall, what are you most excited about as you look forward to the year and being an ambassador? Give us an idea of what you're feeling going into this project.
I'm really excited. I'm ready to get involved in the community and to figure out what my personality test turns out to be like. And yeah, we have 2 community service project ideas as our homework, and I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say about that.
Have you got yours formulated?
Yes.
All right.
It's a secret.
Well, I'm sure that it is. But
we won't tell anybody.
Tiffany hit it, though, and I think when, as young people, it is important because you get out into the workplace and you bring your skills, your particular skills, but you become a family, especially in, say, for example, in a bank setting, you become a family, but yet the personalities are diverse. And so if you have a good idea about what you bring to the table and how you might react to somebody else with a different personality, it just makes things mesh, I think, a little better. And Jeff, this program for Farmers Bank, again, you all are community-oriented. What a great program as you get our young people, leaders in our schools involved, and then to get out and to work within the community. It's a win-win for everybody, isn't it?
Ty, it really is. It's been a focus of ours, and this is sort of the next evolution of that. And we've been working in different ways with the kids in the high school for a few years, and it sort of has evolved into this. Tiffany brought me the idea probably 5-6 months ago in terms of how to do this. And admittedly, we've seen another bank in the area down in Paducah that had started this program, and Tiffany had a chance to call their marketing director. It's a bank that we have a really close relationship with, Paducah Bank. There's no reason not to say their name. And Susan Guest is down there and has worked with Tiffany and is a great resource for us. And we liked what they were doing with their kids down there. And we just see this as an extension of that. And Ty, you've been in our industry, and one of the benefit to the bank, one of the challenges in banking is as much as things change, they stay the same. And what I mean by that is our more traditional customers tend to be more comfortable with the ways we've been providing services, in the past. Well, this next generation, who a decade from now will evolve and become the core customers, they look at it completely different. I saw a statistic the other day that it is the number of young people who don't bank where their parents bank is changing quite a bit. That might not apply as much maybe in the smaller markets as it does in maybe some of the larger markets, but we want to connect with these kids, and we want to learn from them about some of the things that they see and some of the things that they think is how they view the future, because I know they don't view it the way I do. So I think that's one of our advantages, and we just Tiffany referenced, community driven is one of our core values that we try to stay consistent with as much as we can. So this is also a combination of that. It's us doing that with the kids, trying to give the kids an opportunity to learn some things about themselves. Also, it's a little, when you're applying for those scholarships and those things, when you're going to school, give them a little bit to add to their resumes too, from that standpoint. But then the other facet of this is asking them to do the community projects and showing them, especially in these small towns, the value of being involved and giving some of your time back and doing those kind of things. So we think it's a win-win, and this is the first year. We hope it's something that we keep doing for quite a long time.
And there's no doubt when you find a really good model, say at Paducah Bank, and you can implement that, it might not look exactly the same. You can formulate it and make it your own, but it is a very positive and a win-win. And we do know, just like the industry we're talking about, the younger generation now, they don't even have to go into the bank. Used to, banking was it's still relationship, oriented, but yeah, you might not see that face at the counter. It might be an electronic transaction. They feel like they don't have to come to the bank. So the up close and personal, when you can get to it and have faces involved and get out in the community, just makes it that much more better. And Tiffany, I know, I guess you are running the Ambassadors program at the bank and kind of coordinating their efforts. What kind of things can we see, some of the community projects or some of the things the community might see these young people out doing?
Well, next week at our meeting, we're going to go over, all of them are supposed to bring their 2 community service project ideas, and we're going to go over that and try to decide one for the fall and one for the spring on what we're going to do. And hopefully, you know, I said I don't want to give my ideas because I want this to be about what you all want to see in the community. So we'll talk about that, and hopefully you all will see those projects come to life. And then also we're going to be doing a community-driven award each month for a teen or a student who is making significant contributions to the community through their time, actions, talents, and dedication. So I'm going to be meeting with Christy Phelps at the high school to go over our program and just to get her to encourage students and encourage teachers to nominate these students for this award, because, you know, I really want to highlight these students who are involved in the community and are doing things that you might not even think of. You know, if they're going to the Senior Citizen Center and doing something but don't have that recognition, you know, we want to show the community how important it is to give back to the community. So we're looking forward to this, and it's going to be really neat to see the different students that get nominated and then the ones that win. So
I know Ty missed out on this last week just a little bit because he was on vacation last week. But one of the things that we talked about while you were gone was when kids are little, and even now it seems like sometimes when you look on TV and the role models that they have, it's like the louder and the worse they are and the more they get in trouble, the more popular they are. And it's like kids get this vision in their head sometimes that, oh, well, that's how, you know, that's how I get more attention is, you know, I'll go do that. I love this because, you know, if you can start putting the spotlight and showing them, no, you get, you know, let's pat them on the back more for what they do right.
Yes.
And let's make more noise for them when they do something right. And we had just started that last week. So I would love to know if you know some kids and somebody says, hey, this kid's been good. Ty and I want to know about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know we will have visits as we continue this program throughout the year. We want to, of course, encourage you, but we also want to hear the stories and the happenings of what's going on. So kudos to Farmers Bank. Of course, again, you are community-oriented. You have been. It is part of your core values. And Kendall, as far as the Ambassadors Program, again, you have your projects in your back pocket. But what are some of the other things as the year goes on that you're looking forward to learning about yourself and the other ambassadors?
I'm just ready to get to know some of the people better. I'm pretty close with most of them, but I feel like we're going to work together good as a team, and I can't wait to see that happen. And we're all going to get more involved with our school, and we could bond us as a school together more, and I think that'll look good.
No doubt about it.
Ty, one of the first activities, and this one's pretty minor, but I'm pretty excited about it, is, as you know, at the football games we throw out the T-shirts. Yeah. So all the people that I think the bank's seats are on row O or N, whichever row it is, those folks will be happy. Now we're going to hand that over to the ambassadors.
Are going to be out there.
They're going to be able to do that. So with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, I'll no longer be moving to the left and asking, excuse me. Yeah,
that's
looking
awesome.
Forward to that.
And I know they're going to have a presence at the football games out in the community. And will they have shirts on, some way to mark themselves? Will they be able to see that, hey, these are Farmers Bank ambassadors?
Yes, we've gotten them shirts and then pullovers. So we're asking them to wear those to the events that they go to, if they so choose. And we're just looking forward to it. You know, we've always done football. We want to get involved in every sport. You know, with our ambassadors, Adarius plays basketball, Morgan plays soccer, Kendall is volleyball, Chasey is tennis, Ben is football. So we kind of have a little bit of everything. And I told them, you know, we want to do, if there's big games, we want to be there. We want to do something fun. So give us some ideas because we're counting on you all to help us. I told them, you know, I'm not always in the school, so I don't know everything that's going on. And I'm looking to their help, you know, to just let me know what's going on and what we can be involved in because, you know, we want to be involved in as much as we can.
What a great program. Thank you all so much. I know it's going to be a great year. Keep us informed of what's going on. And Jeff, any final words as far as the program and anything anybody needs to know about what's going on at Farmers Bank? Anything exciting around the bend besides the ambassadors? I mean, that's the most exciting thing. But you got any new?
Well, as it ties, you know, banking is always exciting.
Oh yeah,
I say that. I say that somewhat sarcastically, but no, things are going well for us. We very proud of the things we're able to do and be involved in, and some of the successes we have. We think those things tie together when it comes back to that community-driven aspect. So we're looking for that. I want to thank Tess and Ty. I want to thank you guys for having us down here today.
Well, we look forward to having you back again, hearing what these fine young folks are doing, and Farmers Bank as well. What a great
program. You're doing good, young lady.
Yeah.
Keep that up.
Yeah. So thank you all so much, and we look forward to having you back and hearing about all the great things going on in our community. So Tiffany Massey, Director of Marketing at Farmers Bank and Trust Company, Jeff McDaniel, President and CEO, and Kendall Prowell, one of the I guess we call them the inaugural ambassadors from Farmers Bank and Trust. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful day. Appreciate you being here.
It's 1580 103.3 WPKY. Stick around. We've got more to come on Coffee Talk on WPKY.
Show.
Have you been to Big Deal Store yet? Go to WPKYOnline.com and click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. The other day, I redeemed a gift certificate on my smartphone. It was so easy. Thanks to Loyal Listener Big Deals, I found new places to eat, have fun, take the family out, and get my car fixed. With Loyal Listener Big Deals, you can save money and try new businesses. Go to WPKYOnline.com. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
1580 103.3 WPKY. I just couldn't hit the button. I was trying to hit the button.
Just press the
Did
button.
you get the button?
We are back.
Hey, we got company. I gotta settle down.
Another visitor. You're doing great, but we're honored to have Will Brown. He's Director of Food Services and Federal Programs with Caldwell County School System. Good morning.
Morning. How y'all doing?
It's great to have you here. It's been a while since, I don't know if you've interviewed since I've been away and now back, but used to be a frequent guest on the show. But Will, of course, I said was Director of the Federal Programs and our cafeterias here at the school, basically. Our food service director. And let's talk about that, because we're into our third year now of basically,
what it's called, it's Community Eligibility Provision, CEP. Yeah. Essentially what it is where all of our students are provided breakfast and lunch every day at no cost to the student.
I think that's great.
It is a great thing. It's a program that's based upon some numbers that we get based on Medicare and Medicaid numbers, what we call direct certification students, people that are food stamp, SNAP, what you want to call it, and we get a percentage of that. And what it is, every time a child goes through the line, they are given a meal at no cost to them, breakfast and lunch, full menu. And we get a reimbursement from the government every time a child eats that meal. We get, right now, I think we're getting about 83% funding at the free rate, and that means that the remaining, 17% in all, we get reimbursed at the old paid rate, which is like 27 cents a meal, right around in there. So it's a great program. Anytime you could feed kids, it's a great thing, and if you can feed them where they're not having to spend their family's hard-earned money, it's a great thing. I mean, we talk about economic recovery, we talk about those things, but, in a state like Kentucky, we're usually a good click behind most of those recoveries, and Kentucky still has never fully bounced back from 2008. And a lot of people still struggle here, and if we can provide some assistance in that, then it's a wonderful thing.
Well, and when, the fact of life is when you've got multiple kids in the house and then you send them to school, they're the simple things like buying a lunch or buying a breakfast every morning. That can tear
we always kept our lunch prices, our breakfast prices, really low, mainly because we were and we're still trying to increase participation. I don't know why people don't want a sausage biscuit with milk juice and whatever every morning. You walk in and you get
3 out of my house that go eat breakfast there every day.
But if you were doing that, you would look. If you had 3 kids, you were looking at what, $10, $12 a day every day, 5 days a week for 180 days or whatever a year, 178 days a year. That can add up, and we have some charges still on the books after 3 years of CEP to prove it.
And that was an issue as well, because you all racked up lots and lots. And if those things just are basically write-offs.
At one point, we racked up in the neighborhood of like $15,000-$16,000 in charges. We had some students that never, I don't think, paid for a meal in their career because they would hit the max amount. We could go no higher than $999.99. We'd have to zero their account out and start over.
Yeah.
And I mean that we don't have that issue anymore. But the main thing is, and like I tell my ladies, we recently had a training for new employees. I have my main training with my staff the end of next week. There's no more noble thing in the world to do than feed a hungry child, no matter who you are, where you are. And my ladies, I tell you what, I've got 21 of the most fantastic women out there who's truly have, we talk about a servant's heart, and people go and really brag about that. But until you see these ladies out there doing what they do every day, day in and day out, that's a servant's heart.
And
they're fantastic.
And not just serving food. It's what they do in these kids' lives as well as they come through the line.
That's what I encourage them to do. Goof around with them, goofy. You know, I go on about several we've got some that are a little more interestingly involved than others, you know, and they do funny stuff. But you know what, whether it's a cafeteria worker, and you know, a lot of times, and I'm not diminishing anyone. Teachers are an incredibly important part of our society. People don't give them enough credit, not just for the teaching, whatever, but society. But, you know, look at bus drivers and look at cafeteria workers, look at custodians, you know, the people that truly make the gears move, and the relationships they have with those kids are just as valuable, if not more so. I mean, you know, the bus drivers are the ones that see those kids when they first get up in the morning and they first start on the way to school. A thousand or so of our students, at least, probably. Cafeteria workers, when they come through the breakfast line or they come through the lunch, I mean, they're making personal interactions where they can make their day or break their day. And I'm proud to say we have 21 women who make their day. They are wonderful, warm-hearted people, and I couldn't be more proud for them to allow me to work with them every day.
I love the fact that, you know, there's some of these kids that they might not get a nice hot meal if it wasn't at school. And that's one of the things that, you know, that with King's Kitchen and different things throughout the summertime, that's one of the things that they try to supplement during the summer because they don't get that meal from school, and you all do a wonderful job of that. I mean, like
I said, my ladies, we put out a quality, healthy meal every day to those kids.
In all the schools.
And I mean, and we have nutritional standards we have to meet. Unlike back in the days, we were kind of reminiscent about some of the stuff we used to. You know, granted, we still have, you know, pizza and the magical combination, which I'm not sure where to start, a pizza and corn. I never understood that one. But we've changed that a little bit now. We've got like more green salad with it and stuff like that, which kind of makes sense. Yeah. But, you know, we have standards we have to meet.
I still eat corn with my pizza.
No, you don't.
That makes one of us. But anyway, but you know, we upgraded our standards a few years ago, which was needed. Now, like any federal program, whatever, tries to upgrade, it tends to, you know, we oftentimes go past common sense rather than stopping. But, you know, we made changes. We reduced the sodium, we reduced the saturated fats, things we hadn't done for 30-something years. So the changes we made were good. They were a little tough to stomach at first, but now it's like anything. It might be a little tough at first, it's old hash. So we're not just feeding kids. We're feeding them something that's more healthy. We're feeding them, you know, people say, well, you're not feeding them enough. Well, we're feeding them the ADA, what have you, recommended dietary guidelines on meals. And you know, we're proud of what we do, and we're continually upgrading. I know Ty asked me earlier.
Has anything changed?
Yeah. For example, last year, of course, you think, well, this is a big whoop. Last year we had pizza testing at the high school. They tend to drive our menu. There's more of them. They buy the extras. They do that more so than the others. But we had a pizza testing, so we're completely changing our pizza this year. We're hoping it's going to be better. And the thing about, and I've learned over the years, and I'm old and pretty, you know, crusty and don't change real well a lot of times and struggle with that. You know, for example, our commodities program. We always talk about, we always laugh about commodity cheese, how I love it is. And we still get commodity cheese. Right. Yes, we do. And it's absolutely,
best stuff in the
wonderful.
World.
And and the thing is, people, whenever you say commodity, people think, oh, you're talking about second-tier food. No, this is grade A.
It's quality
stuff. It's high
quality.
If you
have not had a pimento cheese sandwich, so you have had that with that block cheese.
And what we do is, and like, what we do now is, for example, we process a lot of that stuff we get. I get so many dollars a year to spend on quote unquote what we call free food. It's not free,
right?
But it's what we call it because we get a dollar amount every year to spend on commodity foods. Well, what we can do is we can process a lot of that. For example, the pizza we're getting this year, we're processing cheese into it that we get so many pounds of. We're processing tomatoes into it for the sauce. We're processing flour into it for the crust. So actually what we're able to do is use that government money to buy a superior product for our students at a reduced price per serving for us.
Hey, somebody's smart.
Well, it's not me. I'm just copying. I guarantee you it's not me. You know, I've been dropped on my head a few too many times, I think, or what have you. But
that's really unique, and you think that, I mean, they're making a quality pizza product out there.
Absolutely, and the kids.
It's like a scratch kitchen almost.
Absolutely, and the kids pick it, and they picked what they liked, and then we find a way best we can to suit what they like. Now the kid's gonna like everything. No, you
Right.
know, I know how kids are to feed.
Yeah.
I mean, you give them $100 bill, and it's probably not crisp enough.
No, that's
you know,
right.
so I mean, we try our best to provide the best quality product we can, prepared in the best possible manner. And like I said, I've got 21 fantastic women out there who. If I didn't have them, I'd be in trouble.
I'll tell you, I'll pick on one just because I know her really well, and Vicky Purcell.
Oh,
and
yeah.
my son Eli is special needs, and of course Miss Vicky. I mean, there were times where he wouldn't eat until he seen Miss Vicky, and they become family to these kids.
They do. Miss Vicky, she's fantastic. All that she does with the kids. But you know what, Miss Ray,
Right.
Susan Ray, Carrie Hutchison, Vicky Wright, you know, they all love the kids. They really do. I mean, and they show it in different ways. You know, some are more gregarious than others. You know, Miss Vicky, she loves on them. She loves on them. She loves on them. But by gosh, she's not above. Hey.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like
I love that,
and
though.
she does, but that's the great thing about my ladies. I can't go on enough about them. I've been doing this now for 12 years, something like that. Ugh,
A minute.
getting old.
I mean, we'll just say that.
A decade. But anyway, I couldn't have had a better bunch to break me in on this.
What do we need to know about going into this year that we might not have known about food services or anything? Is there anything that we really need to know?
Not really.
Okay.
Like I said, this is our third year of doing this.
Right.
I would encourage. I know I have to keep my ear. We have to keep our ear a little bit to the ground on politics, because of the reauthorization acts of the USDA, and because that's what runs us as the USDA. And you know, they recently had the reauthorization of that. You know, there's been some talks to cutting food assistance and what have you, reclassifying people. That could have a detrimental effect on qualifications of students, and possibly could hurt our funding.
Right.
So it's things that we as food service people, we have a lobbying group. They go to Washington every year, and they're not up there lobbying for any kind of special benefits. They're not like these lobbyists we hear, the bad word. They're up there lobbying for basically feeding our kids.
Yeah.
And once again, that's a great lobby there, and just to watch that kind of stuff and you know, protect them. I'm nearing the end of my run. I'm getting out, you know, so. I've got 29 years in now. I can walk.
Wow.
But my point is, I'm not doing this for self-preservation. I'm doing this for program preservation. And that's why I tell people these things. Get out there, stand up for what's right, what's good, and keep things like this program that feeds our kids going. I mean, there is no better use of taxpayer money, I can't imagine, than feeding hungry children.
Well, and when they go to school this year, because we're getting ready to start right back up again, is it now, if they want an extra milk, if they want extra pizza, if they want, is it a good thing to have a few bucks there on the card ahead of time?
We have what's called My School Bucks. That's the best way to do it. I know when my mom used to give me lunch money, sometimes it didn't always make it to the lunch line. It went other places that it probably shouldn't have, and that's just the nature of the beast. But we have My School Bucks. You can go on our school website, our nutrition website. You can sign in. You can put money in electronically. It works great.
It's like an account, isn't
Exactly,
it? Yeah.
and it just draws money down.
That's so
and the
easy.
kids have a secure number. They're not just saying, "Hey, I know you." They have to type numbers in and do all that, which we try to keep. We're very secure. We're very secure. There is one thing I would like to talk about doing, and we no longer have free reduced lunch forms. That's gone here because you're CEP. What we do have, though, is we have what are called HIF forms, household information forms. Essentially, it's the same almost exact document, but it has nothing to do with food service. I encourage parents to fill out one per household, because those numbers we get, people say, "Well, I don't want all these people knowing my income." Listen, when we get that form, one person processes them, and they do not speak of it. We're not all looking at them, and they're filed away securely and safely. I encourage you to fill those out, because it's kind of like the census. You need to be honest and forthcoming on those, because if you are and you qualify, you're not just helping yourself
You're helping
with
others.
possible scholarship money, test fees being waived, things like that. You're helping the community as a whole, because if we qualify for certain areas, we can get more services to provide better care for our young people and in our community. So I encourage you to really, that one per household. It's not for every kid. I know you're getting ready to get the.
This will be in their back to school package.
Yes. Oh yeah. They're giant. Everybody loves their
the parental
18,
homework package.
Exactly. Which is a massive project to fill out, and I respect that and understand that. But the HIF form, one per household, I really encourage that to be done because that helps not just your student, but it helps all our students and our district as a whole, and possibly our community as well. So
I'm glad you said that because a lot of us will say, "Yeah, I don't need that."
Yeah, well, my kid doesn't qualify,
paper,
but just fill it out honestly. Nobody's looking at it. We're not going, "Hey, look at that." It's secure. It's locked away. It's not for all eyes to see. So I encourage that as well.
Oh, we sure do appreciate it, and our luck for and prayers for a good, successful year this year, and everything goes smooth.
Appreciate what you do as well.
No issues, no speed bumps, no nothing.
Not only does this man run the food services and the federal programs like that, but he is a man of he takes care of the football. That football field out there, guess what? That's his love and touch out there.
And as a mama, I say thank you.
You and Bruce, but a few others.
That's also, I'll say, Bruce Farmer.
Bruce Farmer,
Harper,
I know. Yep, Jeff.
Adam French with Go Green and Bruce Bradley Stallings, who mows. I'm lucky, and they all have a passion for that.
It's beautiful, though, and thanks, guys, for that.
And it's safe for the kids. It gives them something to be proud of, and it's safe for them to play on. I mean, a safe playing surface is a healthy playing surface is a safe.
I got a middle school football player hitting the field. He's already been practicing. Our first game is next week against Union County, and we are excited. I'm breaking out my pom-poms.
We're going to have it ready.
Thank you, sir, for what you do for our kids, and have a great year.
Well, I appreciate it.
Will Brown, Director of Federal Programs Food Services Director here in Caldwell County Schools. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and come back and let us know if we can help you out.
I'll do it.
Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk, stick around. Robert Ward is up next on Coffee Talk, 1580 103.3 WPKY.
You do it right by staying on top of knowing when it's time to stain your deck and your fence. Lowe's is here to help you do it right with the supplies you need and the know-how to get it done. Plus, we even help you save. Because now when you buy 1 gallon of select Valspar exterior stain and sealant, you'll get a second one 50% off via mail-in rebate. Whatever you need to make your outdoors even greater, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 7/31. Exclusions apply. See store for details. U.S. only.
They say that if you want to know a person, you should walk a mile in their shoes. Same thing goes for tires. Except Firestone knows it's not just 1 mile, it's many. With the industry-leading 90-day buy and try guarantee, you can test drive our tires for 90 days. Then if you're not fully satisfied with them, we'll refund or replace them for you. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Conditions apply. See FirestoneTire.com for details.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Well, you can expect maybe a chance of some showers this morning. The fog that was around is kind of burning off. High today under cloudy skies to partly sunny skies of 84. We've got clear skies tonight, and we might see a low of about 65. And sunny for tomorrow, a high near 83. Sunshine for Thursday. Listen to this high temperature, 85. But today, these showers clearing out early. Partly sunny otherwise this afternoon, a high near 84. 71 at WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
1580 103.3 WPKY, Tess and Ty on Coffee Talk, and we have a good friend here in the studio, friend of WPKY, Robert Ward.
Good morning.
Good morning. Friend in need is a friend indeed.
There you go. Well, I've known you for just a minute. I mean, I don't remember not knowing you, but that's okay.
Bless your heart.
It's been a while.
And you still claim to know me. That's a good
That's
thing.
right. I'll tell everybody.
All right.
As we head into the late summer, the dog days of summer, we turn our eyes to all kinds of activities with the Caldwell County Historical Society, and of course we start thinking about the Ghost Walk and all kinds of events coming up, Robert. So why don't you tell us what's going on, especially with the Ghost Walk. I know planning's well underway with that.
All right, well, it is. Linda's working on the characters and getting the ones that she likes to pick to do them. And anyway, the Genealogy Society will be hosting the 11th annual Ghost Walk on the 28th of September at Cedar Hill. It's on a Saturday night. In the past, we've had the infamous Pickering and Daniel squabble, a 1903 actress, a man who shot and killed the wrong man for performing assumed atrocities on his wife. We've had a little girl who died of a brain tumor, and her marble stone has been desecrated several times. We have had a nurse that worked during the Spanish flu epidemic, and then a family who lost 6 children at that same time. We've had several Civil War soldiers from both sides. We introduced the crowd to 2 little girls who were poisoned and a young boy who was caught in an elevator and crushed. We talked to a young man who went west to make his fortune and came back here to raise his family. We've talked with Governor Osborne and with Hobo Pegleg Locke, just to name a few. The distinguished and not so well known have all walked into our living history book each September as we have our Ghost Walk, none of whom has ever tried to scare anyone, regardless of the name.
That's awesome.
My wife comes up with good stuff.
She does. And, last year I had the pleasure of being part of that Ghost Walk, and I'd never been on one, and then I got to portray one of the characters, and I can tell you, it's an awesome experience, not only for those that get to participate, maybe as one of the characters, but those just coming. It is a really, really nice event. And it takes a lot of work from a lot of folks to get that together. But, boy, is it enjoyable.
We live and die with our volunteers, and it takes a lot of them. It takes about 40 people to put this thing on at least. And we can always use a few more. We can even use some people helping us clean up on Sunday morning, too. We've got to plan a little better about that than we have the last few years, but we're learning as we go. Just because you've done something for the last 10 years, and this is be the 11th, of course, doesn't mean you ain't going to learn something.
It's always
more.
A little different. Of course, you set out luminaries all out through the cemetery, and that's a lot of work in itself to set up and take down.
Weather permitting. It doesn't take the ladies long to put them together. It takes a while to set them out. It takes a long time to light them, and that's where we use a lot of volunteers. And we're talking about being in the Ghost Walk. Well, the first one I ever saw, I was in too. So I mean, it's a kind of a I think it's kind of a neat thing for the city to do. The proceeds go to help fund Genealogy Society projects, and we bought some things like microfilm cabinets and just to name one thing that I can remember off the top of my head. And but we've spent the money, we think, wisely, and we are always trying to save for a bigger project down the road.
One of the things I love about this is, people are always going to the movies, and myself the same. You always want to watch something that's exciting or read a book and that sort of thing about where somebody has an adventure. Every one of these people have had an adventure in different ways, and look around your community. If you want to see a blockbuster or you want to hear, the next Mark Twain, hey, that's the way you do it right there. You talk to people because the history is so diverse, and the people in this area, you'd be surprised.
Well, the idea is, of course, always with history is we like to make people think about their history, their individual history, and how they fit in. And I mean, if you don't know that, you're beginning to lose everything. And so we need to know this. I would encourage kids to talk to their grandparents, talk to their great-grandparents. Write down some of the things they say. These are the stories that someday we'll be left with. Now, a long time ago, everybody seemed to keep a diary. And if you want to know what people thought, you go read them diaries. Now, you got to remember that anytime there's a war, the winners write the histories. Okay, but you go read the diaries. Some people will think they won even though they lost terribly. And it's just what they themselves witnessed and what they went through.
Well, and sometimes the hardships to, actually decided what side they ended up going on.
Exactly. With everything, it's like that. But anyway, I mean, I would encourage the people to interview and talk to some of these older people. I'm beginning to get to be one of those, and there's so much out there that you could share with somebody, your relatives, later on, if you have this stuff written down. And so I think that we should do this.
And anymore, everybody's carrying a smartphone. You can get audio players on there to record. You can video people. And then guess what? You can upload it somewhere to a cloud, and you've got it pretty much forever, unless there's a terrible crash somewhere.
Well, exactly. But that's the thing. We have these paper diaries because people wrote them and everything. We are probably the most photographed, the most recorded generation ever. But you know what? If you don't print this stuff off or you don't write this stuff down, paper lasts longer than dots in the air. And you need to write some of this stuff down. It doesn't hurt. Because, like I said, we're going to forget where we came from if we don't remember where we've been. And this, I think, is one of the best ways to do that. And all these, the things like the ghost walk and some of the other stuff that we bring up, it, I think, always brings up questions. Families will go back and they'll talk about this, and I'm sure some of the kids are saying, did that really happen? Yes, that really happened. Now, the way that they do that, Linda finds the characters that the most interesting. I mean, everybody's got a story, but not everybody is the most interesting character in the world. So she gives the individuals that do it, Ty's done it, he knows, they give them a few basic facts, and you weave a story around it. And as long as you don't get off the beaten path and get outrageous with it, it makes for a good story. And it's hard to tell anything in 5 minutes. But that's what we try to do. And we leave the viewer, in this case, to think for themselves. And that's
I love that.
And that's what the Ghost Walk to me and to Linda and the others of the Genealogy Society that have been doing this for the last umpteen years. That's what we want you to do. We want you to think. We want you to explore your family. You want to see where you fit in. Do you have anything going on like that? And if you do, it may be something that you don't want known, and that's all right. But it could be like my mom. One time I would go and I would dig up this genealogy stuff, and I would come home with it, and I would say to Mom, I said, did you know so-and-so and so? Yeah, how'd you find that out? Now, she's not one to talk about genealogy.
I got some of them.
And I said, Mom, it's public record. You can oh, I'm not sure they should be doing that. Love my mama, but she's not going to be one of those to ever talk about.
But once you get bit by the bug, I've just now started, you can't get enough. But when did it happen for you as far as history or genealogy? Can you remember back when you just like, man, I got to...
Well, I've been reading history since I was about big enough to read. I just liked history. I liked the characters of history. They used to have these little books, had all these pictures on them, and they were about different characters like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and it more fitted a 5th grade level. And I read nearly every one of them that they had back at that time. I will still kind of be drawn to those books a little bit for some of the newer characters that have crossed the American area, and I still will read a little bit of that too. But as far as genealogy is concerned, I suppose my wife is at fault for that because she was kind of always into it. Our family didn't talk too much about it. It was not anything that was at that time important to them. But as Linda and I would go and look for this stuff for her, I was starting to look for mine. And we found out so much. There's so much stuff out there. We've been to Tennessee several times because a lot of people's relatives come through Tennessee. We've been to different libraries. And then once a year when it fits us pretty good, we will go to what they call the National Genealogical Conference, and you listen to lectures from people who have done the research on certain areas and certain things, and you can learn a lot from them. You get a lot of good ideas about how to research, where to research. And so I've been to, I want to say I've been to 4 of them, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the ones I've been to. Now, my wife's been to several more than I have, and she does it mostly for her job, but all the time you're always looking for your own stuff in the back of your mind. You know, you have this, everybody does this giant jigsaw puzzle. You don't know where all the pieces are. You don't know what all the pieces look like, but you go out and you try to hunt these down, and you may find, you know, if you've ever put together a puzzle, sometimes you can work a great big piece and all of a sudden it goes in a corner somewhere and, oh my goodness, I got a big chunk.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But you know, nobody knows how big your puzzle is for sure. Nobody even knows if it has all the edges. You know, you always used to like to work all the edges in your puzzle and then start filling them in. Don't work like that for genealogy necessarily. But you know, we encourage everybody, and we have the...
well, you never know what you're going to find. It could be a scoundrel. It could be a pirate. Well, it could be, hey, you know, it could be Abraham Lincoln. You could be related to George Washington. You just don't know.
You could end up like me and be semi-related to Daniel Boone and not know it almost all your life.
That's believable, by the way.
That is believable.
I'm just saying.
I am related to Daniel Boone through his older brother, Samuel.
Really?
But it was just one of those things. I never knew all that. Linda began to put the stuff together, and she said, you're going to be ended up being kin, you know, close kin to Daniel Boone, a cousin or something like that. And I said, wow. You know, I'd have give anything to know that when I was a kid.
He doesn't have his coonskin cap on today.
Neither did Daniel Boone. He hated those things.
I bet he's got one, though.
And that's the legend. No, he hated them. He didn't.
Daniel Boone
never wore one, did he?
Not if he could help it. I guess if that's all he had, it's what he wore. You know, Davy Crockett was really the same way. They were, when you think about it, would you rather have a hat that fit close to your head with one little tail hanging down when it's pouring down rain, or do you want a big old hat with big brim, shed that water?
Take that water off.
People, I guarantee you, if you've ever been out in a rainstorm and this is all you got, you're glad for the big hat.
Well, you know, and if you're walking around in the mountains and across the country, probably raccoon skin is not something...
No, it's just not. It's not. Can you imagine the?
Can you
imagine the smell when it rains? It's like wearing a dead cat.
Like wearing roadkill, isn't it?
Yeah, like wearing roadkill.
So we have some meetings tonight. You got Trail of Tears.
Yeah, now Trail of Tears annual meeting is tonight, and we've got a few accomplishments this last year. The year before we had a lot of accomplishments. We've got a few this time to tell the people when we have our meeting tonight.
Where is that in the time?
Well, it's going to be held at Polly Eyes, Dutch Street, 6 o'clock tonight. Okay. I hope I told the time right. Anyway, coming up, I'm also working with something kind of new. We've started a thing here called a 4-H American History Project.
Yeah,
I've got some young men that are interested in this, and we're going to take a field trip Thursday afternoon. We're going down to Crittenden County. Crittenden County has got, their program's been going for a year or so, maybe 2, and they have a shooting range, and we're going to take them down there and let them shoot a little black powder.
Some black powder, aren't we?
We're going to teach them how to throw a tomahawk.
Neat.
Hey, you ain't going to split a tree like Daniel Boone when the show used to come on.
That would be so much fun.
It's going to be fun. I've got some kids that are, of course, sadly on vacation. Doctor's appointments, won't be able to make this trip. But the Crittenden County kids are really coming along good.
That's fantastic. That's a neat program that just a couple years ago kind of started, didn't it?
Well, we tried to start it, and we just couldn't ever kind of get it off the ground. We had a lot of kids interested, and so hopefully, and I think we got most all of them. They're coming back or coming to it, and I think they are really looking forward to it, and I know I am. Sons of American Revolution, they meet the third Thursday at 6 o'clock at night up at the Genealogy Library. If you even think you have a Revolutionary War ancestor, we will kind of help you look for that. And if you want to join, we just did, back here in July, we just did our first grave marking. We marked William Prince's grave, and we marked then a member's grave, Milan Stonebreaker, who died of the result of Agent Orange, a Vietnam veteran. Wow. He was a member down in Texas, and so we placed a what they call a member's stone for him at the same time. We're in the same cemetery. In November, we're going to do 2 more member stones, and we've got some other members that, as time and money permit, will be marking their graves too. We've lost a couple of members already. Haven't been going a year, and we've already lost a couple of members. But that's some of what we do. That's if you are interested in that project, we sure encourage you to come out.
Sure.
And that another one, Sons Confederate Veterans. If you are interested in that, we meet the 4th Monday at 6:30 at the Genealogy Library also. And same way, if you have a Confederate ancestor, and you may be like some people, if they took the oath of allegiance a little too quick, you may not qualify. But we need to look and see. And if you're interested, we encourage you to come out. All these are worthwhile things. Can't remember the date. In September, we're going to have what's called a trip around town, and the kids, the 5th graders, will be visiting Adsmore, and this is the 2nd year we've done this. They've always gone downtown and done a few things, right. But they go to Adsmore, and I think police department, fire station, this kind of thing. And then some of us will be stationed, living history people will be stationed around the courthouse. There'll be some of my Trail of Tears people will be down at that park, and they will talk about Princeton, as Linda and them used to say when some of the older people would gather at Genealogy Library, and we just had a good talk about Princeton.
That's awesome.
And so that's what.
You have
that's
a date on that?
I'm looking for that right now.
And that's a walk around Princeton.
I call it a walk around Princeton. Now, I don't know what 5th grade calls it, but the teachers in the 5th grade are so great to work with. They are really good about this. That's going to happen on the 20th of September.
20th of September. So that's really just about a week before the Ghost Walk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, last year we had the day before the Ghost Walk, and it about wore Robert out.
I bet it will.
Robert said, "No, we can't do that this time."
Well, lots of events going on, and we'll try to keep everybody up to date here on WPKY. We can't thank you enough, and Miss Linda and all the genealogy folks. You got one more thing?
One more thing. Okay. Constitution Week is coming up September 16th through the 22nd.
Oh, I forgot about that.
On the 22nd of September, there will be a reading of the preamble and the Bill of Rights, and it'll be hosted by the Daughters of American Revolution. It'll be down in Planters Park, and we encourage everyone to come out. They hold it in the afternoon, and I can't tell you what time because I don't know that yet.
Well, you can get that to us because it's just like the Declaration reading the Declaration of Independence on July 4th is an awesome event. That seems to be growing each and every year.
I hope
awesome volunteers do that, and it's an awesome thing to hear. And I know this during Constitution Week will be the same way. So can't thank all these groups for what they do to preserve our history, our lineage, and the Genealogy Library, folks. If you have not used that resource or know much about it, pop in there and talk to Linda and the fine staff there. They will get you fixed up on all kinds of things if you're interested in that.
And you'd be surprised what they can find.
There's no doubt about it.
We just encourage everybody. I am just a cog in the wheel that makes these things work, and I just want everybody to be aware of their history, and that's why I keep doing all this stuff, and I'll tell you all that every time I come, and you know I do.
Well, we love it.
I love history. I love the history of the U.S. I love the history of Caldwell County, Kentucky, and it's just, it's an awesome thing. I want everybody to learn.
It's a rich one.
We sure do appreciate you.
Well,
Thank you so much.
I appreciate y'all. We'll do this again sometime soon.
Well, you come back and see us, you hear?
All right.
It's Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk, 1580 103.3 WPKY.
The voice of Caldwell County. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton. Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
And, of course, the fog has gone, finally. You got a 20% shot at showers and thunderstorms before lunchtime today. High of 84. It's 74 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Brantley Furniture.
At Farmers Bank, we pride ourselves on friendly faces and convenient service. Our goal is to make your life easier, and one of the biggest ways we do so is with our mobile app. If you have a smartphone, this is definitely for you. Using the NXT app, you can check your balance, view transactions, make mobile deposits, and transfer money between your accounts. Did you know you can even make your loan payments? Give us a call or stop by our main office to set up the NXT app today. You'll be greeted by me, Lizzie Shelton, and I look forward to seeing you at Farmers Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC.
Pitmaster Jared Schode has been smoking meat for years, and now he and his wife Allison have decided to open The Joint Restaurant, located in Eddyville. The Joint is serving up pulled pork, brisket, jumbo wings, ribs, and chicken. When it comes to barbecue, their secret family recipes stand alone, like the 100-year-old sauce straight from Grandma's kitchen, Granny's coleslaw, and special dry rub. The Joint serves alcohol and homemade sides, soup, and beer cheese, all at The Joint in Eddyville.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580, 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu. 100 million Americans had their personal information stolen, and a former Amazon employee is behind bars.
A hearing is set in federal court in Seattle for Thursday for Paige A. Thompson, who is charged with a single count of computer fraud and abuse in connection to the hacking of Capital One customer information. Thompson, who also goes by the handle Erratic, has been ordered to remain in custody.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Capital One found out about the vulnerability in its system on July 19th and started working with law enforcement to catch the hacker.
Amazon, a cloud computing giant, refusing to take blame, saying clients are responsible for their own applications. The Department of Homeland Security, meanwhile, set to issue a hacking alert involving small planes, warning that modern flight systems are vulnerable to breaches if someone manages to gain physical access to the aircraft. And home prices climbing at a slower pace in May, up 2.4% from a year ago. This is Fox News.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
Well, the same story today. Should be a 20% chance of actual showers this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny this afternoon, high near 84. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 65. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 83. And then on Thursday, sunshine, high 85. It's 72 at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Penny Ryle District Health.
In high-traffic areas, professional painters need a paint that'll last. So do their clients, like PPG Timeless Paint, in 5-gallon buckets from just $159. Now at the Home Depot, with fast one-coat coverage and the toughest, most wear-resistant finish to prevent future scuffs, stains, and you having to come back to fix them. Tough, high-quality PPG Timeless Paint, exclusively at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
Valero salutes you and all your finest moments. For those times you go beyond what you thought possible. Whether that looks like running that extra mile or that extra errand. For taking on a new challenge, a new adventure, or a new route to work. Wherever life's finest moments take you, get there with the finest fuel. Valero top-tier certified quality fuel. It keeps your engine running cleaner, better, and